Welcome to Manufacturing Talk Radio. My name is Tim Grady. I'm here with my co-host Lou Weiss. Lou, how are you today?
I'm doing great, thanks, Tim.
We are at FABTECH 2015 at the McCormick Place in downtown Chicago Loop area, and we're interviewing a lot of the exhibitors that are here in 750,000 square feet of exhibit space, some 1,800 exhibitors, and we have Jeff Dailidas? Dailidas, sorry Jeff. Jeff Dailidas, who is in sales at Nordson Corporation, and you're in the coating industry, is that right, Jeff?
Correct.
Give us an idea of what Nordson does in coatings, and some practical applications people would recognize, because it's fascinating how we go through our daily lives and miss what you folks might do.
Okay. I'm on the powder side of the business. We do liquid as well.
Okay.
But on the powder side, generally anything metal you've used in your daily life, your washing machine, your dryer, your lawnmower, motorcycle, they've been powder coated, chances are, these days.
Yep.
We also do liquid coating, and we use liquid more on substrates that can't take the temperature. Wood parts, plastic parts.
Okay.
Powder needs to bake at a temperature of about 400 degrees, and so a lot of parts that are non-metallic can't tolerate those temperatures.
Yeah, I don't think wood would do well since it ignites at 400 degrees.
Yes,
so
you'd have flaming wood. Yes.
Now, the different powder coating processes, is there more than one?
There's many different ways to apply it.
Okay.
We have a variety of spray guns. We have Venturi-style guns, which are the traditional guns. And you see in probably 90% of the applications. What we brought to the show this year is our HD guns, which have opened up a lot of new areas for us. We can do color change in 20 seconds. That used to take us 5 minutes. We can now coat parts with robots only, where we used to apply with a bank of automatic guns followed by manual touch-up, because we can deliver more powder and we can get more powder on the workpiece in a shorter time.
Now, how do you control the powder dust, if you will?
Well, there's always a booth that goes around the application area.
Okay.
And we make a wide variety of booths and in the show it's been great. We've had small metal fab shops that want to put in a small batch line, and so we make batch booths for them where it's just a walk-in, push-in cart that they're doing parts and moving them to an oven to bake them, to high-speed conveyor lines that you'd see in the wash machine dryer type plants. And some of those booths today are changing because plants are going lean manufacturing, full manufacturing. They need to do quick color change, they need to do a lot of colors, and it's really brought a competitive edge to a lot of our customers to be able to offer colors in the marketplace.
Is it going to get to the stage where my wife can say, I really want the laundry room to be blue, so I want my washing machine to color coordinate?
It's already there.
Is that right?
It's already there. Washers, dryers, and my wife did the same thing to me. And those are usually the top-end units. But yeah, if you go in the stores today, you'll see red and green. And, it used to be white and almond.
That's right. That's all there was.
So colors in faucets, colors in barbecue grills, and people are using it for a marketing edge, and it's working.
That's interesting. How skilled do the operators have to be to perform the process?
They need some skill level, but and we are spraying in our booth over at the Nordson booth. Yeah. We're spraying some small parts, and if I put the gun in your hand and said coat this part, you'd coat a good part. We're doing little squares, carpenter squares. In production, in the real production setting, some training is needed, not nearly as much as for liquid spray painting. In liquid, if you get too much paint on, it'll drip and run and sag. Right. In powder, it's very hard to do that. You almost can't put too much powder on.
Interesting.
I mean, you can waste some powder by putting it on too heavy, and it might not look as smooth, but it'll be a good, acceptable part 90% of the time.
What's the thickness level of the powder to the base?
It depends. For decorative applications where it's just giving color and some protection to metal, it's probably 1.5 to 2 thousandths.
Yeah.
In pipe coating, where we coat pipe that goes in the ground for oil transmission or gas transmission, will be anywhere from 14,000s to 30,000s. So quite thick, but it needs to be highly functional.
And that's anti-corrosive powder?
Yes.
Is all of your powders anti-corrosive?
To some degree. Some of the, it depends on what customers are looking for. We use epoxies and things like that if it's in a real severe environment. The problem with epoxies is they don't do well in the sunlight. So we use urethanes and polyesters in the sunlight. And that's what you see on your outdoor products. And there's a trend today, and we're doing quite a bit now, where we're actually priming with epoxy and then going over top with the urethane to give it the UV protection it needs.
What happens to it with sunlight? It fades, or
It starts to fade and chalk, and eventually the coating will deteriorate and fall off.
Interesting.
But the two-coat, the life can be 5-6 times what people got out of their previous coatings.
Yeah, right.
Jeff, unusual applications. What have you seen that's, you looked at it and went, oh, this is going to be a challenge?
Well, we've sprayed some powdered sugar on gum.
Is that right?
Yeah, we have. We've sprayed vitamins on cornflakes.
Vitamins on
Yes.
cornflake,
We did that. Salt on meat. Those are the most unusual.
right?
What's kind of neat about the business is every day is different. So when you're in the industry, you're in a lawnmower plant in the morning, you're in a you're in a playground equipment manufacturer in the afternoon, you're in a refrigerator plant the next day.
But
So
we got to go back a question.
sure.
When you said you're putting salt on meat and sugar on gum, what's holding it on?
The high voltage, all the guns charge the powders to 100,000 volts.
Yeah.
And so all we need is enough moisture in a product, or if it's metallic, it's not a problem, to give it ground. So now we have 100,000 volts negative, and like lightning, it's looking for a way to get to ground,
Right.
and that's what holds the powder on the pipe.
So you're not using any other chemicals that would be
No.
deleterious to your person.
No.
And don't try to snitch a piece of gum off the line.
Yeah, the gum lines are quite incredible, actually, to see. It's a big piece of gum.
Yeah, I imagine that it is. I just, this is exactly what I want to do, but chat with you about it. We go through our everyday lives, and we don't realize what has been manufactured around us, that we see, that we touch, that we hear, that we taste in this case. We just can't appreciate how much manufacturing does in this country.
No, and I think you're right. A lot of people don't know, and of course, people ask me what I do, and so when I tell
That's
them,
a long
although-
answer.
It is. But today, a lot more people know what powder coating is and the value of it because their products last longer.
Yeah.
They look better.
Right. But I would have thought of putting sugar on gum.
No, that's an oddity. You asked for unusual.
That is fascinating. And how about the vitamins on cornflakes? Did that product go forward?
That's something we played with a long, long time ago, and I think it did go in on a pilot line, but I don't think it ever stayed commercial.
Okay.
Yeah, it's hard to sell the idea to kids that their sugar is being sprayed on by electricity on their cereal.
Yeah, a lot of the food applications that come and go are little pilot lines that they're looking to see, can we do it better?
Right.
Is it faster, easier?
How about commercial applications that were unusual? Any oddities there?
Oh, we've done things like a cement mixer. We've done the inside of grain silos.
Okay.
So they're 15 foot in diameter and 100 feet long.
Right.
So that's unusual.
And that was for corrosion resistant
Yes.
purposes.
Yes.
Yes, it's surprising. I growing up in the Midwest, had occasion to visit farms, and you see the big grain silos, and the sheer pressure, because the weight of the corn on itself mashes the corn and releases corn mash that leaks out of the silo, and the cows lap it up.
Really?
And it's not unusual to see a drunk cow because it ferments in the sun.
Now that one I didn't know.
So what else does Nordson do? Is it just powder coating and liquid coating?
No, we're a dispensing company. The biggest side of our business is hot glue. And any kind of fluid or solid dispensing is what we're into. So our automotive business, we glue almost all the windshields in vehicles. In Detroit.
Okay.
And now they're actually gluing body parts together, body panels for strength and weight. And we apply and dispense a lot of that material as well.
Glue better than rivets or welds?
Glue better than welds. And
Really?
Better, yes.
Must be Gorilla Glue times 10.
That's what I said when I first heard it too. And yes, that's what they're doing in body shops today.
Oh, I'll be darned.
It's a better seal as well, and it helps reduce the weight of the vehicle.
Wow.
And that's not really my market, but
Sure.
It's within our group at Nordson.
I'll be darned. This is why FABTECH is always so fascinating to me, is because you get to see what manufacturers do, and you just can't appreciate it until you get that behind-the-scenes look to find out how was this made, what went into it, and it's more than you could possibly imagine.
Yeah.
Gee, maybe you ought to start a TV show.
Yeah, how is it made?
That's right. How things are made. That's a great idea.
We did do another unusual one where we built a booth for doing 25-foot tall aluminum extrusions.
25.
Foot tall. For, as you can see here in the building, that aluminum is used for glass structures.
Right.
And so these are 25-foot tall extrusions going through a powder booth. And probably the biggest one we had built before that was 13 foot. So it's quite a booth. And it's a quick color change booth as well, which was a challenge.
Well, you said color changes in 20 minutes,
Well,
which is fascinating
20
to me.
seconds.
Oh, sorry, 20 seconds.
Anywhere from, depending on if we're going to reclaim and reuse the powder, it's probably going to be 5 minutes to 15 minutes to do a color change. If we're not going to reclaim and reuse the powder, we can do it in 20 seconds.
Wow. Now, are there applications where you have gradation of color as well in a powder coating? So it might go from a black to a orange to a blue to a...
We've actually done some.
Have you?
Yeah, in the bicycle business,
Ah, okay.
where they want fades and flips and different metallic.
Yeah.
They want it looking different coming at you than it looks going away. We've done some of that. That's not the usual thing,
Right,
though.
right.
A lot of that is still done by the liquid people.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. It's hard to do. Two-tones can be done as well, but most two-tones are liquid still.
Okay. Okay.
Because you have to mask, and it's difficult about it.
Right, right. Interesting stuff. Anything else, Jeff, that you can share with our listeners about Nordson? And for instance, please give us your website and where you folks are located.
Sure, it's www.nordson.com.
Okay.
We're located in Amherst, Ohio. The coatings group is in Amherst, Ohio, which is about 20 minutes west of downtown Cleveland. We have 5 customer labs there for people to utilize. It's one of the largest labs in the world. So it's you can bring your parts and paint them in the liquid lab or paint them in the powder lab.
So they can actually take some prototype parts and test and see how things are going to look and work.
We recommend they do to find out what things they might face during the process, so we catch it before startup rather than after we start their lineup.
Right, right after after they've produced 100,000 of them.
Well, and they want to know what their cost is going to be if they're switching from liquid to powder, or if they're just making a new investment into a product. How much powder are we putting on? What's our cost going to be? Mm-hmm. What's our color change time? How good is our coverage going to be?
Right.
And it's very important they come and do some upfront work and test.
That's interesting. Now, can they ship the part into you folks and have you folks do your magic on it and ship it back?
Well, we can, but we prefer they come up and see it, because there's always a decision tree happening while we're in the lab.
Ah, okay.
If we hung it like this, if we painted it this way,
Got it.
what would happen? Can we do that? And then we need the engineering team to say, yeah, that works.
Fascinating.
So it's a collaboration.
It is.
Yeah, clearly, and that's what we're hearing more and more of at FABTECH this year. It's not so much I'm just trying to sell the customer, I'm collaborating with the customer, trying to help them through their issues for their best end product.
Yeah, the culture has changed a lot, and certainly within Nordson, we've tried to be more consultative in the sale, and not just, and the customers are smarter today. they read things on the web that wasn't available before. They'd read a piece of literature.
Right.
So we come in and try to give them their cost benefit, their return on investment, work through that with them, and just what that process is going to look like when they get it into production ahead of time.
Fascinating. Well, Jeff, we appreciate you taking the time to join Manufacturing Talk Radio and chat with us about Nordson. I'm fascinated with the powder coating and the liquid coating you do. Are there any test modules over there we can play with?
In our booth?
Yes.
Oh yeah, we've got, we actually have a robot running doing a 20-second color change, coating mixer bases in orange and blue. And then we have a manual blue setup where if you come in and paint your own carpenter square, you can put it in the oven and bake it and take it home with you.
Ah, that's what I'm looking for.
And what's fun is usually on Thursday here, people will start coming from all the metal laser cutters and bringing us all kinds of trinkets to coat. And we have as much fun as the customers do. So.
Oh, good. I think I'm going to have this phone that doesn't work very well coated.
Yeah, we might melt that.
I can use it as a paperweight, so I won't be upset.
What is your booth number?
You know, I wish I could tell you, but I can't.
We'll find it.
It's top of the escalator in the south building.
We'll find the numbers. We have the book.
Oh, okay. I thought it would say on my badge.
Yeah, I thought it would too, but it's not on there. But we'll find you. We'll find Nordson.
But thank you very much. We appreciated you sitting in with us and giving this information to our listeners. And
thanks for having me.
And good show.
I appreciate it.
And that wraps us up for this episode of Manufacturing Talk Radio.